Lesson 12. Receive the Pearls of Grace. Once again, we come forth to abide with you and to celebrate with you. Once again, we come to abide with the holy mind that is the sonship. We come to abide with our brothers and sisters, and we come as brothers and sisters. Indeed, we come forth to abide in that process whereby the sonship is remembering itself as the Son. Indeed, beloved friends, I come forth to share that with you that already resides within you. I come forth, we come forth, to join with you who have chosen to answer a certain call to bring forth a creative expression that can signify to the world the truth that alone can set this world free. Free of what? Free of fear and all of the children that fear begets. Guilt, dishonesty, unworthiness, limitation, need for suffering, judgment, and the list goes on and on. Ultimately, when a gardener seeks to improve the quality of the soil from which he would want his flowers to bloom forth, the gardener seeks not to look upon the effects of a weed or that which is above the surface, but rather he makes haste and goes for the root. When the root has been pulled up, the effects of that weed can no more be seen. Therefore, in truth, we come not to improve what you would be thinking of as the surface of the garden, the surface of the soil, but to strike at the root that resides deep within the mind, in the depth that I have called the heart or the soul. All that we endeavor to do, then, is designed to uproot the weed of fear that has made a home in the depth of your being. The way of the heart has been designed to bypass the cognitive or thinking mind and to strike at the roots of fear that abide in the depth of the mind in a place that is, by and large, unconscious. All that we do seeks to dissolve that root from the depth of your being. These first 12 lessons have required you to truly participate with the devotion necessary to extract the wisdom that has been offered to you. We cannot do this to you, we can only do it with you. For never can anything be forced upon the mind of the Son of God. The Holy Spirit makes no effort to usurp or take from you your freedom. For in your freedom, all power under heaven and earth resides. Discover the obstacles to love. Grace does not descend until your Father knows that you are willing to prepare a place to receive it. This is why, in the process of healing and awakening, it is not necessary to seek for love. It is only necessary to prepare the place, the soil, by choosing to discover the obstacles to love, which all come down to fear, and to be willing to loosen that root, that it might be removed from the garden of your consciousness. Then, the rain of grace that purifies, transforms, awakens, and brings Christ consciousness to the mind can descend gently. For when the rain falls upon hard ground, it strikes the soil and runs off, and the garden remains barren. But the wise gardener who has softened the soil reached in and begun to pull up the roots, sifted the soil and made it soft, open and porous, with the intent of bringing forth a beautiful garden, will indeed be assisted. Then the rain of grace will fall gently, without it being earned. It is given freely. Drops of grace have been offered to you in each and every lesson. Some you have received, some you have not noticed. Some are waiting to penetrate the deeper levels of your consciousness as you continue in your willingness to release fear. Suddenly, a pearl of grace that has not yet been received will sink deep. Then, the recognition will come, the awakening will come. Suddenly you will find yourself saying, wait a minute, this insight, this vision, This realization I've just had sounds like something that was in the first lesson. I think I'll go back and have another look. Yes, there it is. I wonder why I didn't notice it the first time. It is simply the natural process in which the drops of rain of grace had not yet a place to be received. Understand then, and this is of great importance as we move into this next part of the way of mastery, that all that transpires from this point rests on how well the gardener has cultivated the soil with the tools that have been given. If they have not been utilized, the soil remains hard and the drops of rain run off and pool in the side of the garden, waiting for the soil to be properly prepared. Of all that has been given that can continue and will continue to serve you, the greatest will be the simple 5-minute practice of abiding as Christ and observing all that you see, all that you feel, all that you think, as though a perfectly awakened Christ was the only one sitting in the chair. I know that this sounds simplistic for you, but the way is easy and without effort. Complexity is born of the world and not from the mind of God. Therefore, continue well in that practice and allow it to be the foundation from which the soil is prepared. The roots of fear are loosened, even in ways that you cannot comprehend with the thinking mind. For the roots of fear are not merely ideas. They are the effects of ideas. They have been allowed to penetrate deep into the unconscious. This is why the next 12 lessons, called the way of transformation, require not striving, but allowing. Not thinking, but letting go into feeling. Not doing, but trusting. Those roots of fear must be dissolved at a level that is deeper than the conscious thinking mind can reach. The mind was never designed to be your master, but to become aligned as a servant of the awakened heart, just like the flower blooms and sends forth its scent for all to see from the depth of the soil that is unseen, but has been well prepared. So that the only roots that gather nourishment from the soil are the roots of that which speaks of life and beauty, not that which speaks of fear and unworthiness. Seek you then to seek no more. For the place that is prepared for you, and you need only go to it. Therefore, we will be cultivating more deeply the art of surrendering, resting ever more deeply into that place of silence which is the threshold to perfect wisdom divine. The way of the heart is the preparation of the soil that allows the way of transformation to truly occur. Transformation is not complete unless it envelops, encompasses, and is expressed through the very life you know, right there on your speck of dust, whirling about one sun in a small part of one universe. Expressed on your earth and in your time frame, your relationships, your experience, and in your life as you know it, as you live it, as you breathe it, as you feel it. So, let the breath flow and realize that you have the freedom to go back over the previous lessons and see if there is anything that you missed. As you do that, do it from a place of Christedness. I am that one choosing to enter the way of transformation whereby human consciousness, the human lived experience, becomes the living expression, the fruit which has sprung forth from the soil in which the roots of grace, love, and healing have been well planted. Do this not from the perspective that you are doing something amiss, but out of the desire to be the master gardener, who brings forth that fruit which extends beauty and the scent of joy for all to receive, for all to see, for all to marvel. Yet that beauty that springs forth from the gardener's beautiful garden does not build up the ego of the master gardener, for a master gardener knows that he or she has only been the keeper of the soil. But the magic that brings forth the flower is not his or her possession. It is merely that which they have been given stewardship over, consciousness. Consciousness is the gift of life, streaming forth from the mind of God. Your mind, then, is the soil of the garden. All awakening and all transformation occur nowhere save in that garden. Some of you are still seeking to understand the mind by seeing it as something that is locked inside the shape of your skull and is somehow cohabitating with what you call the gray matter of the brain. Rest assured, your mind is unlimited forever. The body that sits in the chair in your 5-minute exercise is as a drop of foam being expressed at the slightest tip of one wave in an infinite ocean. That ocean is itself within the unlimited expanse of your mind. You are consciousness as such, pure spirit. The only question then is this: are you willing to allow that drop of foam to be transformed into that which fully and always expresses only the love of God, even though that expression is still temporary because the body has arisen in the field of time and disappears in the field of time? Are you willing to say, what the heck, and allow that love to be as fully embodied as it is possible for it to be, for the split second that the body is in this world? Expressing mastery is the effect of the way of transformation in this world, in this time, in this little tiny moment. Rest assured, to the degree that you turn your attention to expressing mastery, to the degree that you use time wisely to be the embodied Christ, when the body drops away and it veils from you no longer the magnificence of the light you are, the light will not be blinding to you. You will not contract in fear. You will merely let this world go gently and as easily as a child has put away a toy that has been outgrown, because its usefulness is complete. All that you see, your body, your relationships, your devices, and your stars, your winds and your waters, will eventually be put aside by you. Not out of denial, but simply out of recognizing that their usefulness is over. Indeed, beloved friends, as we come then to the completion of the first 12 lessons, look well to see that no drops of grace have been ignored. Open the heart ever more deeply. Allow those pearls, those drops of grace, to penetrate ever more deeply, not just as ideas in the thinking mind, but as feelings in the cells of the body. Let it create for you a sweetness in the flow of breath, a sensitivity in the way your foot rests upon the soil of the earth with each step. Let it begin to transform the way in which you rest your hand upon the shoulder of your brother or sister. Allow that sweetness to permeate your gaze as you look upon another, seeing the Christ within them that is growing into a beautiful flower whose scent and beauty will be as a blessing to many. There is no one among you who is not the evolving Christ. Remember always that what you see is what you get, in the same way that as you teach, you learn. A meditation of release. Look well then and ask yourself this: who do I know in my existence who I have judged and locked into a certain box, and I have decided that is all they are? There you will find a fruitful meditation for reflection. I would suggest that you use the next 30 days to take time and use it wisely to allow the names, the images, and the faces of those that you have judged to come back to you and to say, you know, mother, father, ex-mate, whoever it is, I get it. I have placed you in a box and thrown away the key. You are stuck, so I have said, and now I release you that I might be released. Contemplate their image. Allow the memories of the experiences you have shared with them to come back. If there are feelings, by all means, let yourself feel them. Gaze upon them in your mind until you feel that sweetness that dissolves the imprisonment into which you have placed them. For as that imprisonment begins to melt, you will sense and know that your freedom is blossoming. You cannot take fear into love. You cannot take judgment into forgiveness. You cannot take limitation into unlimitedness. These things must be released at the level in which they were first created. Therefore, make note that this practice should not be overlooked. Give yourself 30 days with the goal to truly go back and, shall we say, mop up any forgiveness or releasing that you need yet to do. Do not let the mind say, I don't know if I did that well enough. For understand, it is the comforter that releases you and the other through your willingness to allow it to occur. Now, there are some effects. This will mean that when you have truly done that, never again do you have any justification or excuse for attaching any experience you have had or any feelings you have ever felt to the hook on the side of their imprisonment that you have placed them in. Often, the human mind, the egoic mind, wants to hang the coat of its judgment on the hook just outside the bars in which you have locked someone. For instance, that which I have experienced is the result of my father's alcoholism. That which I have experienced in life is the result of my mother having 40,000 affairs a week. That which I have experienced is the result of my business partner who has stolen my golden coins. That which has caused my suffering is the result of the position of the stars in the sky when I chose incarnation. If only they would have gotten it right, I would be fine. As we conclude the way of the heart, I say unto you, do not enter the way of transformation until you have truly and fully satisfied your awareness that you are not clinging to even the subtlest iota of perception that, in any way, you are a victim of the world you see. Nothing has been caused by your relationships. All of them have merely shown you what you have already decided will be true. The world, then, is not the cause of anything. You merely see what you have used the freedom of your consciousness to concoct about yourself. For example, lack is not caused by taxation. Taxation is caused by the decision to need to believe that there is a power outside of yourself that needs all of your energy. Government does not cause you to be subservient. Your sense of being subservient, guilt-ridden, weak, and limited is what births the idea of government. Then some of you, as loving brothers and sisters, say, well, I'll play that part. They become your politicians that create the disgruntled feelings that you have. The world is uncaused by anything save the choices you have made as a free consciousness. You have concocted the thought and then immersed yourself in that which reflects back to you what you have already decided to believe. This means that the way of transformation is that way in which one becomes empowered in every moment to become fully responsible for clearly deciding what they will see and that they will not settle for anything less. The better you get this, the quicker it happens, until one reaches the point where miracles occur. Yet they are only miraculous to those that do not understand how consciousness works. You can achieve that place in which you hold out the palm of your hand and desire the sweetest tasting apple that has ever been created, and it will literally appear in the palm of your hand. Of course, at that point, you will be well beyond any need whatsoever to even hold the thought of requiring physical form. You will begin then to get a sense of your mastery by being able to look at the world you see and observe clearly what has been changing in it. You will observe how quickly and effortlessly that which the heart truly desires, because it is in alignment with the mind of God, becomes manifested effortlessly. When the gap between the pure desire and the manifested reflection of it is smaller and smaller and smaller, you will literally sense in the feeling body that mastery is growing. You will know that you are merely a child of God playing without ceasing in the sandbox of all possibilities called the mind, and that there is literally nothing out there that is solid, nothing out there that is unrelated to you. So that is where we are going if you wish to come along on the journey, if you are willing to truly become committed to uprooting every root of fear that has taken hold within the depth of the mind that has been rendered unconscious because of your hatred of yourself. It is called the separation from God, and therefore, because it has become unconscious, it has ruled you. Time to release the unrulable by allowing that alone which can uproot the root of fear to come and take up its rightful place within you. Christ-mindedness. You have your homework before you then. Go within and ask, have I taken the time to fully focus on each lesson? You may realize, when I read the third lesson, I was trying to watch the football game on television. I wonder if I missed something. When I read the seventh lesson, I was thinking about going out to dinner. Did I really sit with it and extract all of the pearls that were offered? Perhaps I will go back and really set aside some quiet time in which I deliberately put the world aside and hang on every word. Yet do so with a relaxed body and a soft breath and a non-grasping mind. Be you therefore like a sponge that allows the raindrops to be absorbed into itself, and that is all. Knowledge is not a cognitive struggle. It is not the arranging of ideas in some order that satisfies the thinking mind. Knowledge is the receiving of a vibration that begins to soften the soil of the heart and dissolve the root of fear from your being. Knowledge is the result of the transformation of the garden that you have been given and entrusted with, the field of mind that is you. That mind pervades the body. It pervades the space around you and melds and dances with other infinite webs of relationship called other minds, energy dancing into energy, unlimited forever, out of which all things of time are birthed and pass away. So you see, where I abide is everywhere at once, and so do you. You simply do not know it yet. I abide with an infinite array of friends who have realized the truth and have been set free. They are infinitely creating, without ceasing, that which extends their treasure, which is the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Many have given you images of choirs of angels singing the praises of God. It is the same thing. For when extension of joy becomes free to express only the good, the holy, and the beautiful, it is like a vibration of many notes, a choir of creative consciousness, sparks of divinity, who abide in perfect unlimitedness and know it, and ceaselessly extend their deepest bliss by allowing the good, the holy, and the beautiful to flow through them from the infinite, mysterious, ungraspable, uncontainable mind that is God. Just as the sunlight of the sun creates and streams through many sunbeams that extend out to the far reaches of your universe as light, out of which planets are birthed, and animals and water and trees and birds and man. Imagine then that is your destiny, to take up your rightful place beside me, to join your brothers and sisters in infinite and perfect creativity, like a harp player who ceaselessly runs the fingers across the strings, creating the most beautiful notes. The combinations never cease. In every moment you experience the fruit of the flowers springing forth from the garden that you have well prepared to receive the rain of grace. The good, the holy, and the beautiful flow through your unobstructed mind that rests in perfect marriage or union with that which is your creator, your source, evermore, evermore, evermore. Not a bad way to spend eternity. But if you look ahead and feel that there is a distance between where you are and where that reality is, you will miss the opportunities required right where you are, to practice where you are going by being it now. You have heard it said that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and the beginning is every bit as important as the end. For in the beginning, the end is already present. The way of transformation asks you to truly become present where you are, to deliberately and consciously cultivate, with every thought and every breath, the willingness necessary that allows the root of fear to be dissolved, so that the good and the holy and the beautiful are all that emanate from you, like a beacon being sent out to creation around you. Do not delay. Do not waste time. Time can indeed be wasted. But listen well, for time can also waste. You have a saying we would perceive in many of your silly movies, where someone gets wasted. How many times have you been the one who has said to yourself, well, I think I'll just waste myself? How many ways have you gone unconscious? How many ways have you numbed your feelings? How many ways have you judged your brother or sister? How many ways have you decided to hold on to thoughts such as, I could never do that. What's the point? It's a waste. Oh yes, you just put a gun to your head and pulled the trigger. You have wasted yourself by wasting time. Every moment is as a doorway through which the good, the holy, and the beautiful can be expressed, as the cultivation of the consciousness through which the power to do so grows. Oh, beloved friends, those moments of your time are very precious. Do not look out upon the world thinking that it is just the same old world. Remember then, as you begin to come to the completion of the study of the way of the heart, that what you see outside of you is only the reflection of what you have allowed to live within you, and simply ask, is this what I wish to continue? What do I truly want? What is this, my very consciousness, for? What do I commit myself to? What do I say I believe? Where do I freely choose to place the power of valuation? For what you value, you experience immediately. The world will bow down and say, very well, you have let us know what you value. We will mirror it back to you because we love you, because we are a part of you, and heaven forbid that we would take away your free will. So if you value hopelessness, the world will be a hopeless place. If you value lack of gold coins, you will continue to see lack of gold coins, which just means lack of a flow of energy. If you value loneliness, you will continue to be alone. If you value the right to be in judgment of another, you will experience the fruit of separation. If you value sweetness, sweetness will come. If you value receiving love, listen to this carefully. If you value receiving love, the world will begin to show up at your doorstep in completely different embodiments. Different vibrations, different thought patterns will be mirrored back to you that let you receive love. For nothing can be received until the place is prepared for it to enter. And you can only give what you have been willing to receive. If you receive a drop of water in your glass, that is all that you can give to another. But he that receives all gives all. And he that gives all receives tenfold more. Call for assistance to dissolve fears. The way of the heart is a good beginning. We have called out to you across space and time, and if you have heard the call, the connection or the relationship with us is already established. There is then no bridge to cross, only the willingness to receive what is true. Yeshua is available for me always. Mary is available for me always. The one you would call as my friend, Saint Germain, is available for you always. The entire family, lineage of masters have sought through time to create a frequency and a vibration that can dissolve the effects of the negative thinking that you have extended out of your mind, that creates the smoke and the veil around you. To dissolve that, all of us are available to you, and our number is Legion. Rest assured, you are not alone. In any moment, you need only call upon me, and I am with you, and I do not come alone. For some of you, then, we would highly suggest that in those moments when you feel like you need a little help, when fear seems to be coming up, but you know you must go ahead, whatever it be, whatever you think you are fearing, simply say, legions of angels and masters and friends, whose number is infinite beyond comprehension, you who are sent directly of God to assist me over the ditch, come now, because I declare it and I receive it, and therefore it is. Then take the step that is necessary to take. It will not be your imagination. We will be with you, and the perfect end is certain. Fear is nothing more than the illusion you have chosen to value in order to experience what it is like to feel separate from love. That is all. You merely waved your cosmic magic wand and said, "Let there be fear so I can experience it." We love you. Beyond your present comprehension, we love you. Beyond all comprehension, even at what you might perceive to be our level of functioning, is the presence of God's love, which we seek to merely pour forth through you, that by giving, we continually receive. The laws of consciousness work for us just like they work for you. We are just more aware of them. That love which God is incomprehensible forever. The sunbeam can never comprehend the sun. I am a sunbeam to that sun. You are a sunbeam to that sun. We are therefore made of one substance, and that substance alone sustains us throughout eternity. The greatest of joys is to surrender fully into allowing that light to light your way without ceasing. She that releases the world embraces the Creator, and he that releases fear remembers love. She that embodies forgiveness lives at peace, and he that relinquishes control knows perfect trust. The awakened Christ that has surrendered the knot of fear called I rests in unlimitedness forever, in perfect communion with all of creation. And that union never ceases. It merely expands and extends as life comes forth. Creation comes forth, extending the good, the holy, and the beautiful. A flower that blooms in the spring for a day is the good, the holy, and the beautiful. The rays of sunlight that dance upon the oceans of this world creatively sing forth the good, the holy, and the beautiful. The bird that alights upon your fence and sings its morning song has come forth from that infinite perfect sun, and its notes extend the joy of the child of God. So too, the smile upon one of your brothers and sisters who has received a pearl of grace through you is creation itself, the presence of the good, the holy, and the beautiful. Every loving thought you allow to be cultivated in the garden of your own mind extends the good, the holy, the beautiful. Therefore, sing that song without ceasing. Be willing, as we close the way of the heart, to celebrate your willingness to embrace with perfect deliberateness your creativity and the power you have, the dominion over that which is planted in the soil of your mind. Prepare that soil well as you complete the first part of this course. that the pearls of grace might bring you into the way of transformation. Celebrate your birth as those sunbeams that are expressed through the stories of the birth of Christ into the world. For me, it occurred 2,000 years ago. Is it not time now for you to let that same birthing be fully completed in you? Know that it has been our honor and our joy to abide with you. There is a whole host of beings encircling you every moment you remember that you have chosen to answer a call that can be traced to the very mind of God, who has reached out to call his creation, you, back to himself, so that you can deliberately extend love without ceasing. We give you love. We hold you with perfect patience, knowing the truth that is true alone about you. And we will never leave you. Peace then be unto you always. Amen.